Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this meeting of the Council of the Town of Oakville. I invite everyone to rise and join Council in the singing of O Canada. Thank you. Please be seated. I will now give our opening prayer, followed by our moment of silent reflection, and then we'll begin the meeting proper. God, grant us understanding and patience, that justice, truth, and honesty may be evident in our decisions. Make us mindful of the needs of the people throughout the town of Oakville. Help us govern with the wider community in mind, and so create in us a desire for progress and responsible action. We ask this in your name. Amen. Thank you, everyone. Madam Clerk, do we have any regrets for this meeting?
Mr. Mayor, we have regrets from Councillor Demara.
Thank you. Councillor, are there declarations of pecuniary interest? Thank you. You have the minutes of the previous meetings of Council on September 16th and September 30th. Councillor Duddock? Seconded by Councillor Johnston. Any changes, corrections? All in favor? Opposed, if any? The minutes are adopted. We have no public presentations this evening, but we do have nor delegations, but we do have the standing committee reports from Community Services and Administrative Services from October 1st. Councillor Khan moves adoption. Councillor Knoll seconds. Separations. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Those reports are adopted. Council, I would ask if you would be interested to give me a motion by a mover and a seconder to pass a staff recommendation on discussion item number 2 on tonight's agenda. Councillor Robinson, Councillor Elger, all those in favor? Opposed, if any? Thank you. That in our agenda, in case you don't have it, that is the item concerning the Memorandum of Settlement with CUPE Local 1329, dated September 25th, 2013, and we've now ratified it. So that brings us to tonight's main business, which is the Mayor's Annual Oakville Status Report. And I thank everyone for coming for this, and I have I've prepared a few remarks. Chair Carr, former Mayor Barrett, fellow residents, invited guests, esteemed staff, and respected council colleagues. These annual Status of the Town speeches began 7 years ago. They are updates on our progress toward our goal of becoming Canada's most livable town. Last year, this speech focused on the long-range plans that are guiding us forward. And this year, we can focus on the results that we are achieving. And what a year it has been. Every year, thanks to the efforts of so many dedicated people in our town, we are getting ever closer to being Canada's most livable town. Who are these dedicated people? Well, you who are here tonight are, and there are many more where you came from. You who are leaders of our many volunteer groups of residents, you who are business leaders, you who are members of our dedicated professional civil service staff at the town, the police, and the region, you who are members of council. You each have a starring role in our town's success this year. I'd ask you to just think about these 5 accomplishments alone. First, our official plan, Livable Oakville, passed its first acid test at the Ontario Municipal Board. The OMB dismissed outright a developer's appeal of our refusal to approve a too dense infill subdivision in an established neighborhood. This is what our Livable Oakville plan was created to achieve. Second, we kept our overall property tax change to within inflation again this year. We achieved this level of tax control even while we still increased and improved services and facilities. We did it by harvesting the dividends of our relentless pursuit of efficiency. Third, this year, again, we successfully enforced our policy of acquiring waterfront for the public. We acquired new, significant pieces of Oakville's waterfront for public access and enjoyment. Fourth, we have measurably cleaner, healthier air to breathe. Our health protection air quality bylaw has reduced air pollution. We are the only government anywhere in Canada to regulate particulate matter smaller than 2.5 microns. PM 2.5, as it's known for short, is the deadliest kind of air pollution. And fifth, for the 5th year in a row, we're the safest community in the country. Our police force is effective and efficient. So how good was this year? We even had good weather for the Canadian Open. That's even funnier than you might think, because the last 2 times we were here, we rained them out. So if you're going to take credit for the good weather, you have to take blame for the bad weather, I think. So our record of success shows that we can be trusted to do the best for Oakville. When a decision is being made, our way is to more than just notify you. We engage you. We trust you to help us make the best decision. We as a council believe in public engagement. In Oakville, public engagement is democracy in action between elections. In other words, what we do is all about you. And when it comes to asking for things to make Oakville more livable, you are remarkably consistent. You tell us you want a town that's green and clean, and we are united in this goal. To make Oakville greener, we plant trees, far more than we lose, thousands every year. Someone once said, trees are the best monuments you can erect to your own memory. They speak to your praises without flattery, and they are blessings to children yet unborn. And children yet unborn will enjoy the 40% urban forest canopy that we will create by the year 2057. And if you've got 44 more years left in you, you'll be here to enjoy it too. The rest of us can enjoy the ever greener path that will take us there. I'm not sure I've got 44 years left. We are also working hard to protect our existing woodlands. And here are 3 ways. First, our town's forestry staff is waging Canada's most aggressive fight against the emerald ash tree borer. Second, Council recently approved a plan to protect Oakville's natural heritage system with natural trails standards. And third, we are piloting a project with Oakville Green for public education and awareness to respect and protect our trails and our natural heritage system. Our natural heritage system is a municipal green belt inside our borders. Our natural heritage system has 900 hectares, that's 9 square kilometers, across North Oakville. We're working to control impacts on our preserved green space while we provide for walking and cycling for our nearby neighborhoods. But protecting our environment is not just about trees and trails. It's about making Oakville a cleaner place too. Now, being cleaner may lack some of the poetry of trees and trails, but we must work to minimize waste. And this year, our town won 3 Gold Ontario Waste Minimization Awards. You also tell us that you want upgraded, improved, and expanded town facilities for community activities. Across the north, we have updated our 3 community centers. We know that other parts of town have waited decades for community centers. We know the role such facilities play in the life and the spirit of our town. We know you want a new community and health center on the old hospital site. You want a new community and senior center with a restored and revitalized Oakville Arena on Kerr Street. You want a reinvigorated and updated Centennial Square. You want a community center for North Park. Each of these projects will be designed with you to make our town more livable. Each of these projects will cultivate our town's soul and its spirit. This year, we're finishing the planning and public engagement for our next new facilities. Our 10-year capital forecast plan will lay out the path to completion of our facilities needs. Council expects to finalize that plan next year on a pay-as-you-go basis to avoid tax-paid debt. We also are taking special care in working on enhancing the role of our downtown as a social and cultural hub. We will create conditions for our famed downtown to become more attractive, more resilient, and more successful. We will break new ground in community planning for this area. Downtown has been called the jewel in the crown of Oakville. We will make it shine. And while we are on the topic of public facilities, when the new Oakville Trafalgar Memorial Hospital opens at the end of 2015, we will be able to make our donation of up to $130 million without using taxes. New revenues from Oakville Hydro, from green energy and other business projects across Ontario will carry the cost of our donation. I'm so pleased that with us tonight are Oakville Hydro's board and its president, Rob Lister, and his team to hear my praise for this, and I hope that you'll join me in congratulating them for having been awarded the Large Company of the Year honors last month by the Ontario Energy Association. There's even more good fiscal news. We've continued to cut our tax-paid debt. Since 2006, we've cut it 43%, and we're on track to eliminate tax-paid debt over the next 10 years. And we've been keeping total tax increases to the level of inflation. At the same time, we've been responding to your demand for higher quality town services. We have more police and fire and faster response times. We have better road quality. We have more parks and green spaces. We have more resources for public libraries. We have better snow clearing. We have more and faster transit. We have more household leaf collections. We have fully funded infrastructure depreciation. Funding our infrastructure needs has been our single biggest increase in spending and taxing. Over the last 7 years, we've doubled that. Even with what we've had to take care of, such as that, and what we've added, we have a good news story on the tax front. You can see how well we're doing on taxes by looking at how just one number has moved over the last 12 years. From 2002 to 2006, the total property tax levy increased by an average of 7% a year. In my first term as mayor, from 2006 to 2010, we cut the annual rate of increase from 7% to 5%. This term, we've cut that rate of increase from an average of 5% to an average of 3% a year. And everyone tells us that 7, 5, 3 is a good direction. And as a direct result, out of Ontario's 84 largest municipalities, Oakville has the 6th lowest tax rate. And we're sticking to the path of tax control. Earlier this year, we unanimously set our 2014 budget direction of keeping the overall tax change to no more than 1.5%. To set an example, in December, we froze our own pay on council. We froze the pay of our non-union management staff. We are committed to sound fiscal management. We deliver first-rate public services. We attract and retain the best and the brightest for our civic staff. We protect and enhance our town's natural beauty. We're proud of our public facilities. We're as excited as you are for our new facilities. And these are what help make Oakville so livable. Our livability is very important. It's more important than it may sound at first. It attracts other people and families to want to move here. Therefore, our livability keeps our investments in our homes safe and appreciating because other people want your home. We keep our town in good shape for the same reason we keep our homes in good shape. Even better, our livability is why businesses want to invest and locate here. So the engine of our economic growth turns out to be our livability. Last year, 1,200 new jobs were created in Oakville. Our unemployment rate is well below the provincial average. And in 2012, we had more than 1.1 million square feet of non-residential construction in our town, the total value of more than $200 million. Our livability is growing our economy, and we all want that. You also tell us that you want Oakville's population growth controlled. Well, our population growth rate since the 2006 census is 33% lower than it was before. We will not let growth change the essence of what we are environmentally, economically, and socially. We will keep Oakville a friendly, warm community. We will keep Oakville's unique spirit alive. My friend, mentor, and former mayor, Harry Barrett, captured the essence of the Oakville spirit when he coined the expression, "Oakville is a city that calls itself a town and feels like a village." Thank you, Harry, for your many fine lessons to us. Since the last status of the town report, we've named our waterfront trails system after former Mayor Barrett. He created our policy for our trails system. He created our policy for our public access to the waterfront. These are today signature pieces of our identity as a town. It was time to identify them with him, their author. Please join me in thanking former Mayor Barrett. So I have to ask, is it any wonder if others see our town as special? This year, for the second year, Money Sense magazine listed our town as one of the top 5 places to live in the entire country. Mind you, it's not really the opinion of the national media that matters to Oakville. What matters to Oakville is what the people who live here think. And according to our surveys, the people of Oakville believe their town is on the right track. Our surveys say 85% of you believe Oakville is more livable than other areas in the GTA. Surveys say 90% of you say you're satisfied with your town and police and regional government. We know a huge piece of your satisfaction comes from the way that you know that when you talk with us, we listen. And we need to talk. As much as we've achieved in the last year, there are 5 major challenges that are commanding our concern and our attention as leaders of our community. These 5 challenges should command your concern and attention too. Our first challenge is the continuing one from residential developers. They want property taxpayers to finance their infrastructure. They want us to take on the debt that should be theirs. They want us to take their risk. Now, I call it subsidizing newcomers. Sometimes I call it subsidizing developer profits. It's true either way you look at it. Maybe it's both. But no matter what you want to call it, we can't afford it. And one of the reasons that we can't afford it is that we believe that it would endanger our AAA credit rating. It would literally undermine our economic strength. And for now, we seem to be overcoming this challenge. The developers have just withdrawn the legal attacks they filed last year on our development charge fees. But this was only one battle. The war over who's going to pay for infrastructure to support new homes is continuing. The developers are lobbying the provincial government to shift the costs of growth to you, the property taxpayer. We must and will stay engaged in this struggle. The second challenge facing Oakville is the financing for the proposed GTA transit plan, otherwise known as the Big Move. Unfortunately, the Big Move plan has a big hole in its funding. In fact, there's a $34 billion gap. So when you do the arithmetic, On a GTA-wide basis, that's an average of $1,000 a year for every home for almost 20 years. So how will this gap be paid for? Right now, we still don't know. Our council believes that the property tax is overworked already. And that's what motivated me to work so hard, and I'm proud to say successfully, this year, to get the province to pledge that they would leave property taxes out of any funding of the big move. We still have to see where the money will come from. That is, if phase 2 of the big move will be built at all. The third major challenge that we face is the ongoing appeal to the OMB by developers against our enhanced natural heritage system. We have a 9-kilometer square natural heritage system in Oakville, across the north. It's not under appeal. We see our town natural heritage system as being protected and extended by the 492 square kilometer enhanced natural heritage system that we have created across the rest of Halton. That's 51% of Halton. As Chair Gary Carr told me, he'd done the math earlier this evening, and that is an outstanding number, and we congratulate you for your leadership on this, Chair Carr. Now, the fourth and fifth challenges that we face are opportunities. We will lose out financially as taxpayers if we do not succeed with these challenges. Let's look at the fourth challenge. Oakville has assets worth about $1.6 billion. We need to ask ourselves, are all of our assets performing as well as they can for us? Consider the town's land in downtown Oakville. Can we make better use of these lands? Could we add office and retail spaces to create both more parking and more customers for our downtown shops? Our answer to this question will determine if we can create a new level of vitality and success for our historic downtown. And can we create a new streetscape and new partnerships to make downtown the social and cultural community hub of our town? This will be among the most important work our town staff has embarked upon. The fifth challenge is just to stick to our plan for developing our employment lands. This land will create 30,000 jobs for Oakville, the 30,000 jobs that Oakville needs for the future. This is an ongoing challenge because councils in the past, before 2006, had to let 500 hectares of employment lands be converted to residential. They let space for 25,000 jobs go, and they added population instead. One of the ways that we're controlling population growth now is by not permitting conversions of employment land to residential development. We have strict laws in place now to block those conversions, and that's the difference between now and before. But because any council in future can change any law, the challenge that remains is yours as voters. And sometimes it seems as if the question that voters should ask is, do you want to be crowded or do you want to be green and employed? Any way you look at it, this has been your Green Council focused on environmental lands as well as jobs lands. Our jobs plan includes for our businesses to get out in the world more. More of our businesses need global dimensions to increase our town's prosperity. We are working with our business leaders who are pathfinders globally to encourage other Oakville businesses to get out more. And that's why we conducted our well-attended Business Leaders Forum this summer on doing business successfully with China. At home, our Life Sciences Business Park is getting off the ground faster than we expected. We thought our new hospital would have to open first before the Life Sciences Business Park would start to take off in 2016. Delightfully, it's already starting taking off. And advanced manufacturing, which is one of the pillars of our economic development strategy, is almost $1 billion stronger now in Oakville. And that's because last month, Ford, Ontario, and Canada announced that the Oakville Assembly Plant will become one of Ford's global platform centers and not one of Ford's shuttered plants. Later this month, we will host the first major gathering in 5 years of Ontario's Auto Mayors Group with provincial and federal officials at Ford. we'll be considering ways to ensure that Ontario continues to be home to North America's most significant automaking industry. So far, as I look at those 5 challenges, we have met or are overcoming each of those challenges. We've had no defeat, no surrender. With our 7 years of success, everyone is entitled to a sense of optimism about our way of keeping our town on the path to success. You can trust us to keep working to do more and more with less and less of a tax increase, because we've shown so far, for so long now, that our way is to set goals for efficiencies and effectiveness. Our way is to protect the environment and to promote economic growth and social development for the benefit of all. Our way is to control growth in the community. Our way is to keep alive the Oakville spirit of a small town whose warm and friendly welcome speeds newcomers to successful roles in our town's life. Our way is to provide first-rate, trusted government services from a professional civil service at the town, the police, and the regional levels that is the best and the brightest anywhere. Our way is to create and maintain top-notch public facilities without overburdening taxpayers. Our way is to work cooperatively with higher levels of government. We are a 2-level municipality, and Halton Chair Gary Carr has been a great partner to coordinate municipal goals and fiscal impacts with us. And all municipalities are creatures of the province. MPP Kevin Flynn has been a great partner at Queen's Park to represent us through thick and thin times. And when the federal government has partnered with us, we have benefited as a community too. Think of how they and the province split the cost of half of our $60 million transit facility. The way we work, they are welcome back at the table anytime. Our way is to engage you in the decisions that directly impact you and to work together with you to get those decisions right. And when necessary, our way is to defend our decisions at the Ontario Municipal Board or in court. A previous mayor once said in this place that we had to give developers what they wanted because Oakville always lost at the OMB. Well, now developers and the OMB respect Oakville's vision of the future because we've done the hard work to make sure that our decisions stand when they are tested at the OMB. One example is our decision in 2009 to impose an interim control bylaw to set aside power plant applications for a year. We took the time to conduct good planning on where power plants can go. We followed due process and the law, and we were upheld by the Ontario Municipal Board. We did our duty to our community. And this is important. Tomorrow, the Provincial Auditor General reports on the Oakville power plant cancellation costs. The old argument in the media about whose cost estimates to believe will be replaced with tomorrow's Auditor General's estimates. Surely, what matters now is to prevent so dangerous a site selection decision from ever happening again anywhere. What matters now, surely, is how everyone can be protected from such dangerous and ultimately costly decisions in the future. That decision 4 years ago to put a power plant in a place so dangerous was caused by a bad process at an arm's length agency which produced ultimately an indefensible decision. We responded to that decision by following due process and the law. Then TransCanada told the government they could not defeat Oakville's bylaws. You can read their email to the government if you don't believe me, but I think you've all seen that. I still hope the legislature will fix the process once they can't once they can't waste time anymore arguing about whose estimate is correct. Earlier this year, we and Citizens for Clean Air made submissions to the Minister of Energy for improvements to the process. We hope to prevent such dangerous power plant location decisions from ever happening again anywhere. Now, our approach to the defense of our town and the cause of good government could be called the Oakville Way. In the Oakville Way, we realize we aren't powerful and we aren't perfect, And so we resolve to work with each other harder than our opponents can, and that gives us an edge. Whatever you call it, you can trust us to keep doing things the right, responsive way. We'll keep doing things the smart, sustainable way. We'll keep doing things the Oakville way. Friends and neighbors and fellow residents, you see before you a council and a professional staff who are unequaled at turning your hopes and dreams for our community into reality. To each and every member and leader of our town's vibrant residents groups, we say simply, thank you for your engagement. Thank you for your guidance. You help us stay on track to meet your needs. We wouldn't have it any other way. To each and every one who volunteers your time for Oakville, we give our heartfelt thanks for your spirit and your time. This is the spirit of Oakville. And in a similar spirit, this speech, just like the rest of our work together, has benefited from group effort. Each member of council contributed to the assessment tonight of our strengths, weaknesses, threats, and opportunities. Ward 1 Brawny Councillor Alan Johnston knows how important the health of Lake Ontario is to us and to future generations, and as our voice on the bi-national Great Lakes St. Lawrence Cities Initiative, he sees that our concerns are heard and acted on. Ward 1 Councillor Ralph Robinson identifies as our biggest threat the ongoing campaign by Ontario developers to get the provincial government to shift the costs of growth from them back to you, the taxpayer. Ward 2 South Central Old Oakville, Councillor Kathy Duddock says what stands out is the success we've had at the Ontario Municipal Board defending the Harvest Bible site on Lakeshore, and the strength of her ward's 6 residents groups. It's a very social ward you've got there. Ward 2 Councillor Pam DeMoff points to the distance that we have come in becoming a bicycle-friendly community and the distance we have to go to fully implement our active transportation master plan. Ward 3 Southeast Old Oakville Councillor Keith Bird spotlights our creation this year of Oakville's newest heritage district for preservation of our jewel of a downtown. Ward 3 Councillor Dave Giddings points to several of our newly established strengths: our future of lower tax increases, our increasing attraction of clean additions to our non-residential tax base, and, unique in Ontario, our full coverage of depreciation in our finances. Ward 4 Northwest Oakville Councillor Alan Elgar has kept our attention this year on our work to identify the limits of development for the Merton lands between 3rd Line and 14 Mile Creek. The province is preparing to sell some of its land holdings in Oakville, and we must be ready to deal with that. Ward 4 Councillor Roger Lapworth identifies the role of council members such as himself in community groups such as the Humane Society, Two Wharf, and our business improvement areas for their importance to our success. And also, it needs to be said, no volunteer in town matches him for his audio system and his ability to make you sound good when you simply must have a public address, a sound system. It's not for nothing that his license plate says Audio Man. Ward 5, North Central Oakville, Councillor Jeff Knoll is proud of the way Oakville councillors take leadership roles at the region of Halton, where he is chair of Administration and Finance, which is one of the 2 standing committees with an Oakville chair. And it's also considered to be the Queen Committee, the top committee, because it's the money. Ward 5 Councillor Mark Grant notes that the resilience of our many community groups and their involvement in our town's active participatory life are really crucial to our success. And Ward 6, that's Northeast Oakville, Councillor Tom Adams, as our budget chair, tells us that we are on track to achieve our 1.5% overall tax increase, debt reduction, and other fiscal targets. Ward 6 Councillor Max Kahn takes pride in having been the author of our resolution that established free transit Mondays for seniors. So as proud as we may be and should be of our record, all of us are more excited about Oakville's future. We are the people, and this is the time in our history when we make the big, long-lasting choices about our future livability as a community. Working together the Oakville way with creativity and imagination and hard work, we can and we will keep Oakville on the path to long-lasting success as Canada's most livable town. Thank you for your commitment to the Oakville way and to Oakville's future. To our regional, provincial, and federal colleagues, and to each member of council, let me say, it is good working with you. And to each and every resident of Oakville, let us all say, we who serve you, let us say, it's good working for you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, and it means a lot to me. Council, on this agenda is an actual Mayor's Annual Oakville Status Report that the speech speaks to, and we need a mover and a seconder for that. Councillor Duddick, thank you. Councillor Grant, thank you. All those in favor? Opposed, if any? That is adopted. We have no confidential discussion items. Your information items have been circulated electronically to you. You have your status of outstanding issues report. Is there any new business, notice of motion, emergency, congratulatory, or condolence? Thank you. That brings us to regional reports and question period regarding town boards and advisory committees. Thank you. Are there any requests for report? Thank you. Then could we have a mover and seconder for the bylaws? Councillor Elgar and Councillor Knoll, thank you. All those in favor? Opposed, if any? Those are carried. Thank you very much for your time and attention. That completes our agenda, and we are adjourned.